Looks like we're heading back to Indonesia one more time. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again for another ration review. Like we said, this one is from Indonesia. It is a T2 P style ration, and it is menu number 1. It is a little worse for wear, but let's dig into this thing. It does have this handy tear notch right here, but it's been my experience that they don't always work out too well. Go right among the top. I'm hoping in this ration will be the first time that I get, and I didn't get them because I can see right off the bat. I was hoping for some chocolate inner tabs like I saw in Steve's T2P review. Bummer. Well, let's see what we got in here. Well, as we see, these are the inner tabs. It's kind of like a milk-based product. And depending who you ask for, you can snack on these throughout the day or save them for an emergency situation. Alright, for this first one, it's nasi opor ayam, which is chicken rice. And the opor is a style of cooking, which is, this is braised in coconut milk. And this one is like chili fried rice. Let's see what this last main is. And this one is rice with fish sauce. Then we have the Stoke Kit. We'll take a look at that in a second. And then the accessory packet / drinks kit. Alright, these are usually filled with minkal and minces, as well with some other stuff. And each one of these numbers listed on these is a different flavor. So we have a mineral drink or a vitamin drink. Some minkal, which this is like a milky cereal kind of drink. Very, very tasty. And then we have 2 minces. One is a number 2 minces and the other one is a number 4. And then this final packet, of course, you've got 3 toothpicks, your spork, and some napkins, whatever you need to use that for. And assembling the spork is really easy. It has a little tab right here. It fits right into this hole. These simply fold up into these notches, and you just place that notch into that hole, like such. And then you have a pretty stable eating utensil. And then you got the Stoke Kit. Of course, it comes with a foldable stove, instructions how to fold it and ways to use it, box of matches, and then of course 4 fuel tablets. And as you can tell by my excitement, these are some of my most favorite rations. They're very ingenious. Even the way how these mains are packaged. You take this off, this can turn into your plate or your tray if need be. This is your main, and then you have some rice. I would be assuming that you would place this rice into your mess tin because there's no way that you would put plastic right on top of a stove with a fuel tablet. Well, I guess you could, but you would end up with a huge mess. So you get these all mixed up, do what you need to do, and if you had to walk away for something, you could also use this for a lid again to place it right on top. And in Indonesia, there is no particular item for breakfast like there would be in a lot of Western countries. So we are going to start off with our chili fried rice for breakfast. And along with breakfast, I'm going to make my minces and my minkal. And each one of these, well, all the drinks, as a matter of fact, are 200 milliliter of water. And unfortunately, we suffered our first casualty. This kind of fell off my workstation and I stepped on it, so I'm going to be replacing it with the ADF Tactical Food Shovel. And while both of these are supposed to be hot, I prefer my minkal cold. I've had it both ways, and that's just the way I'm going to make it. And if you're curious what Menses is, it's essentially a coffee and milk drink. And the number is a floral fragrance or scent. Or make that fruity instead of floral. Don't know where I was going with that. Okay, there's not too much to this besides we have our toothpick down and our little napkins, and I'll bust out a couple of these inner tabs. There we go. It's a nice block of milky goodness, I suppose. And then our chili fried rice. We'll plop down the rice first. And it is a very thick and sticky rice. Chop this up a little bit. So this is definitely good to have with chopsticks or whatever feeding utensil that you happen to have. And it is a nice, thick, starchy white rice. See, it's steaming. And then our chili sauce. I'm going to give it a really good shake to make sure that all of the oils are all incorporated together. Has a nice little tear notch. Oh, woo, good, 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 good. And pour that right over the top. Hopefully all of that stays in the tray. Oh, man. Huh. Slide the Menses and the Minko back over. Let's give this a try. I can already smell the spiciness off of this. We have a little bit of the beef, a little bit of the rice, a little bit of the sauce. Just a subtle amount of heat. It's just enough to let you know that it's there. The beef is nice and chewy. It has a little gristle in it, so it kind of makes it a little chewy and tender, and you get a little bit of that fat. The sauce has a little bit of oils in it, but overall, not too bad. Pretty well balanced. And then the rice itself is firm, nice and chewy, and I'm dropping more stuff off my tactical feeding shovel. Man, just absolutely making a mess of everything right on top of my tablets. Try some of our coffee drink, our Menses. Nice and rich, a little sweet. And then, of course, our Minko. This is all crunchy cereal bits on the top. It's so sweet. It tastes kind of like a watered down bowl of like Cocoa Krispies. That's the closest that I can compare it to. And this is essentially just like a 3-in-1 coffee. I don't smell any fruity or floral fragrance to it, but it definitely reminds me of just your standard 3-in-1 coffee. Then, of course, the energy tablet. And this is the vanilla flavor, of course, and it's chalky and it sticks to your teeth and does all that, but I'm assuming it does provide you with a nice boost of energy, which is its job. And then lastly, we have our dental stimulator or toothpick. And it is just a single-ended toothpick, probably to help get your energy tablets out of your teeth. And this was breakfast. Okay, the drink is made. Another dental stimulator. Again, we can have some of these if we needed them or wanted them. And let's get out our chicken and rice. And again, this is nasi opor ayam, which is chicken that is braised in coconut milk. Let's lay down our bed of rice. I know what you're saying, rice, rice, and more rice. But if this is a staple where you're from, it's no big deal at all. And I pre-shook the bag. We'll pour this over. Man, boy, does that look pretty good. Generous bits of chicken. Nice sauce. It has a very sweet smelling sauce. I'm assuming that's because it is braised in the coconut milk. Take a look at that, man. Spilling all over the place. Very light, very soupy. You can almost get a little taste of coconut. It's very pleasant. You would think from like the color, it'd be kind of maybe possibly spicy like peanut sauce, but it's not. This is really good. This would be really pleasant if you wanted a nice light lunch. Now I shouldn't anticipate anything, but I am assuming that this chicken is going to be beyond cooked, like well done. But who knows? That beef that we had in the first meal was actually pretty nice and tender. It is slightly overdone, but it does have a nice chewiness to it. It doesn't just like break out into strings. And it looks like we have some other thing, like possibly lotus root is in here as well. Little cubes of that, which is pretty pleasant too. And again, if we needed our vanilla enter tabs, we could have one of them, or our vitamin drink, our Vitaroll drink. I was thinking that this is kind of like that Pocari Sweat. It is kind of the same, except for it has no saltiness taste to it. It's very sweet. It has that fruity fragrance to it, and a nice little fruity taste. It's actually pretty nice. And this was lunch. As we're getting ready for dinner, I just want to say that the way how these are packed, this packaging is absolutely ingenious. It really retains heat. It does that. It even looks like they actually care about their troops. Looks pretty much like the first minces. And our final meal component is going to be rice with fish sauce. Yes, yes, more rice. It's actually pretty darn tasty. And as soon as I remove the top, it does indeed have that nice fishy smell that I recall and remember from that freeze-dried ration, the PJ, which I think is one of the best rations that I have reviewed to date. You get generous sized portions of this fish, nice large chunks. Grab a little bit of this rice and that fish sauce. You can even see a little bit of those striations in there. It definitely has that fish taste. You get that, but it is ultra, mega, super overcooked. I mean, it is almost like eating a stringy rock. The flavors are still there, and the flavors of this sauce just accentuate this rice. This is outstanding, just this. You get a little saltiness from that sauce. Really good. They just way overcooked this poor fish. And if you're so inclined, you can have another one of your energy tablets or save them for patrol or a rainy day in the future when you don't get issued a ration. That kind of stuff happens from time to time. Let me restore the minces real quick. They look identical, but this one does have a slightly different flavor from the last Menses drink that I had. I couldn't tell you what that flavor is. Very odd. It's almost like burnt coffee bean in a way. Well, everybody, this was a review of an Indonesian Armed Forces T2 P menu number 1. This is the last complete Indonesian ration that I have in my possession, except for that little FD3 drink mix kind of thing. These are some of the best rations that I have had. They're really good, and if you happen to get your hands on one of these, I'm quite sure that you will enjoy it. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you all on my next review. Bye.